Experts are raising a red flag warning of a looming food crisis in Africa if urgent steps aren't taken. They say a new international law set to be enforced by 2027 will see the phasing out of aging, polluting ships that currently dominate African imports. Now, the worry is without proper shipping alternatives, food supply chains could be severely disrupted, raising the specter of shortages and skyrocketing costs across the continent. Tobias Chanji with the details.
Shipping contributes approximately 3% of global pollution, and experts warn that without urgent action, this figure will rise sharply.
You know, shipping is using the kind of fuel that we normally call the bottom of the barrel. That is the dirtiest of the fossil fuels, and therefore is emitting very dangerous greenhouse gas emissions.
This growing concern is driving the push to decarbonize the shipping industry by adopting cleaner energy sources that do not emit greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide.
And that is one of the progress that was made last month, April, in London, when the world approved a new global fuel standard and a greenhouse gas pricing mechanism for shipping.
So the IMO has teeth in the sense that it has a MARPOL convention, which applies to all ships across the world.
Environmental and maritime experts are now working around the clock to assess the implications of the recently approved Chapter 5 of the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships. The focus is on what this means for Africa and specifically for Kenya's maritime sector, touching on issues such as food security and a fair energy transition.
This workshop is actually a result of a joint effort by the University of Nairobi, the Center for Advanced Studies in Environmental Law and Policy, Copenhagen Business School, and the Institute for Law and Environmental Governance, ILEG, with support from the NIDA Fellowship Center, is part of a research into understanding the implications of efforts to control marine pollution.
Africa relies heavily on maritime transport for agricultural trade and essential imports. If existing vessels are rendered obsolete by new regulations, it could disrupt the food supply chain, triggering higher food prices and worsening food insecurity.
We have to transit to clean energy. For instance, it means that we'll have to introduce new technology in shipping. Some of the existing ships will have to be retrofitted, for instance.
The question is, how can people cooperate globally to ensure that each person does their bit?
As the maritime sector braces for this major environmental shift, stakeholders are calling for strategic planning to ensure African economies are not left behind in the global transition to greener shipping. Tobias Chanji, KTN, Mombasa County.
Well, let's hope they find a solution and quick. That story takes us to our second commercial break. This is KTN News Desk, but do not go far. We'll be right back.